torture to my side, my abdomen, torture, directed energy torture, causing convulsions. The Venezuelan embassy, Panama City, Panama. The Venezuelan embassy, Panama City, Panama. Torture, torture. Torture, torture! Directed energy torture. Torture! Torture! directed energy torture. Directed energy. Energia. Energy. Energia. Directed energy. Energy. Electromagnetic energy.
trauma acústico, bilateral,
acoustic trauma,
bilateral,
sí.
and hearing loss and
bilateral hearing loss. So this is Brian too, at the ear doctor's office in Quito, Ecuador, March 24th, 2017. And I was trying to show the doctor the YouTube ear examinations I posted on YouTube showing the previous damage, and suddenly the internet went dead. So this is the tactic that they use. Can I see this? Okay, so this is the, can you explain in Espanol? Yeah.
Trauma acústico, bilateral,
acoustic trauma,
bilateral,
sí.
and hearing loss and
bilateral hearing loss,
10
and acoustic trauma, sí.
10 decibels of hearing loss, no es mucho.
Go ahead and explain in Espanol. Yeah.
¿Ya?
Sí. Go ahead, Espanol. Sí.
Ya. Un trauma acústico en los dos oídos con una pequeña disminución de audición en casi todas las frecuencias, para 10 decibeles, no más. ¿Ya? Okay. What do you say?
Good? Is that good?
Ajá, está bien.
Okay, yeah, this is Brian too in the ear doctor's office. And here, this is the ear exam here, one of them that she did. Okay, this is the ear doctor in Ecuador. She's the ear, nose, and throat doctor, and she's going to explain a trauma, acoustic trauma, in Espanol, in Spanish.
Do you need, I write here?
No, just go ahead and explain it Espanol. Solo
hablo.
Sí.
I'm speaking, yeah. Tiene en audiometría un trauma acústico debido a exposición a ruido. Un examen en rojo es un enmascaramiento, mientras que en azul está el oído izquierdo normal con caída en tonos para trauma acústico en 4 y 6000. ¿Ok? Ya. Yeah. En la timpanometría tenemos una buena respuesta en el oído derecho, mientras que el oído izquierdo nos demuestra que hay presencia de líquido o una obstrucción de la trompa de Eustaquio. ¿Ok?
Perfecto. Gracias, doctor.
How the middle ear, the eardrum and the pressure in the ear, it's today. It's right now.
Right.
So your middle ear is working fine.
Okay.
So the eardrum is working fine. The pressure in the middle ear is fine. The little bones are working fine.
Okay.
The right and the left.
Okay.
So this is what's showing. So if I do the test, I know there is no middle ear problem.
Okay. All right. And then
Because
the other is?
The other is called the acoustic emission, and this is the one that shows the outer hair cell damage in the high frequency at 4,000 and 6,000 hertz.
Okay.
Okay, and the other is the audiogram.
What's this down here at the bottom?
It's the same, 4,000 hertz. It's
Okay.
different frequencies. They start from 1,500, 2,000, 2008, which is fine.
Okay.
Then 2, then 4, 6.
Yeah.
It repeats frequencies.
Okay. All right.
4, 6.
Okay. And then this one is what?
This is an audiogram.
An audiogram?
Audiogram.
Okay.
And a speech, it's called speech detection threshold and speech discrimination.
How did I do with the speech detection? Was I able?
The speech detection was consistent with the audiogram, and the discrimination was fine, but at high levels, at loud intensity levels, you start losing lowering the discrimination
And
percent.
I'm unable to understand words
As
properly.
well,
At
as
louder,
well.
louder noises.
A louder noises, so the voice is starts being distorted, so you don't have 100%, which you should have, and you start having 80, 70%.
Okay, so that consistent with damage to
Yeah.
because of loud
Yeah.
noise,
Yeah.
being exposed to an sustained, high-pitched, screeching, loud noise
Yeah.
for a long period. That's consistent with that.
Yeah,
Okay. And then this is over here. What is
and
this?
this is I just copied the tympanometry.
Oh,
first,
okay,
the
okay,
first
okay,
one. I
okay,
just
okay.
copied because I want to keep, because this starts erasing, so I have it recorded here.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Thank you.
How the middle ear, the eardrum and the pressure in the ear,
Uh-huh.
it's today, it's
Right,
right now.
right.
So your middle ear is working fine.
Okay. All
So
right.
the eardrum is working fine, the pressure in the middle ear is fine,
Uh-huh.
the little bones are working fine,
Okay.
the right and the left.
Okay.
So this is what's showing. So if I do the test, I know there is no middle ear problem.
Okay. Okay. All right. And then
Because
the
it
other
can-
is.
The other is called the acoustic emission,
Uh-huh.
and this is the one that shows the outer hair cell damage in the high frequency at 4 and 6,000 hertz.
Okay.
Okay, and the
And
other
then-
is the audiogram.
What's this
which-
down here at the bottom?
Oh, it's the
Yeah.
same, 4,000 hertz. It's
Okay.
different frequencies. They start from 1,500, 2,000, 2008, which is fine.
Okay.
Then 2, then 4, 6.
Yeah.
It repeats frequencies.
Okay,
2,
all right,
4, 6.
okay.
Okay?
And then this one is what?
This is an audiogram,
An audiogram? Okay.
and a speech, it's called speech detection threshold
Uh-huh.
and speech discrimination.
How did I do with the speech detection? Was I able?
The speech detection was consistent with the audiogram, and the discrimination was fine, but at high levels, at loud intensity levels, you start losing, lowering the discrimination
And
percent.
I'm unable to understand words
As
properly.
well,
At
as
louder,
well.
louder noises.
A louder noises, so the voice is starts being distorted, so you don't have 100%, which you should have, and you start having 80, 70%.
Okay, so that consistent with damage to
Yeah.
because of loud
Yeah.
noise,
Yeah.
being exposed to an sustained, high-pitched, screeching, loud noise
Yeah.
for a long period. That's consistent with that.
Yeah,
Okay. And then this is over here. What is
and
this?
this is I just copied the tympanometry.
Oh,
first,
okay,
the
okay,
first
okay,
one.
okay,
I just
okay,
copied
okay.
because I want to keep, because this starts erasing, so I have it recorded here.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Thank you.
Entonces, este es el izquierdo, este es el derecho. El daño es en la parte esta es la parte de la cóclea. Entonces, la cóclea, esta es la célula ciliadas externas y las internas, unos pelitos aquí arriba. Aquí están dañadas las internas, pero él no tiene las dañadas las internas, es las externas las que están dañadas cuando sale aquí. Es como un daño ya de ruido, o de exposición a ruido fuerte, o él dice ultrasonido, sonido ultrasónico, fuerte, y eso daña el oído. Cualquier exposición externa fuerte puede dañar el oído. ¿Verdad?
Sí, que es lo que
Entonces,
tiene,
¿qué
que
es
le
lo que
molesta?
tiene que le molesta? Y lo que tiene también un tipo de distorsión, que él oye una cosa diferente, la S la oye distorsionada.
Can you show me on this thing where the damage is?
The damage, you actually have a slight hearing loss in both ears, okay?
Okay.
And take a picture of the other one too, because I
Okay.
didn't do the bone conduction here,
Yeah.
but in the other one is the bone also,
Yeah.
but it's the same, so I don't have to do the bone because it's the same thing as last week.
Okay.
So it's you have a slight hearing loss in general in both ears,
Uh-huh.
and you have a higher frequency loss in 4 and 6,000 hertz.
Okay. That's
In
because
the
of
right?
high-pitched screeching sound.
And in the
exposure
left,
to-
more on the 4,000 than in the 6, but you do have it in the acoustic emission, the damage.
And that's consistent with being exposed to
To a sustained loud
sustained
noises.
high-pitched noise.
And high pitch, especially high pitch, yeah.
Okay.
And then also you have very low tolerance to
That's
loudness.
recruitment.
That's recruitment. It's called
Yeah, severe pain by loud noises.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ok, entonces esto.
Now, is recruitment
Él va ahorita donde la doctora dice,
is recruitment
No.
is recruitment caused by the damage to the ears? What causes
Damage in the ear.
the pain with the loud sounds
Yeah,
caused by damage?
because there is damage, there is recruitment. Yeah.
Okay.
¿Qué me está diciendo? Hoy no.
No, you don't have an appointment with Dr. Isaba, right?
No, no. Now I will. Yeah.
Yeah.
Need to make one.
Yeah. So, because what I can do is escribirle esto, pero aquí esta computadora no tengo yo aquí. To write in the computer everything together. Can you go by and get it from my clinic?
Yeah,
I have it in the clinic this afternoon.
Yeah, okay.
So, entonces se lo voy a entregar hoy en la tarde
Okay.
de la computadora para poner esto junto, todo en un reporte.
Okay.
Todo, porque instead of making one report here, one
Right,
report here,
right.
we'll do it all together.
This one
okay?
worked better than the other one, didn't it?
And
Yeah.
you can set
Yeah.
up the appointment for
And you
this
can,
week.
yeah, you
Okay.
can. Yeah, you'll have it this afternoon or tomorrow morning. I don't know you prefer to pick it up, but
Yeah.
I'll have it.
Okay,
I'll
I'll
have
come
it
get
ready.
it, yeah, all right.
Okay. Entonces we're ready to finish because this. Let me show you. I'll show you. Then we have, like I was telling you, we have the hair cells, which is where the.
I wanted to show you something.
Huh?
I wanted to show you something. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So tell me what's wrong with my ears now?
Okay, some part of the ear. This is a very objective test. What it does is it evaluates the hair cells of the ear. The hair cells is the nerve,
The hair cells?
which is
Right.
inside the ear. The ear.
Can I take a picture of that?
Yeah, I can take a picture.
Okay, can you show me right now what this is? Okay.
So this is the ear, of course.
Right.
And the canal, we have the eardrum,
Right.
and then we have the middle ear, which are the where the pressure, the air pressure in the ear is,
Right.
and the little bones.
Right.
And then we have the cochlea, which is the inner ear.
Right.
Inside the cochlea, we have a line of hair cells, which is like a normal.
Right.
This is a normal cut of one side of the
Right.
ear, okay?
Okay.
And here we have the inner hair cells, which is
Uh-huh.
the one on the top. I don't know if you
Right.
can see.
Yeah, I got it.
And the outer hair cells. There are three lines of outer
okay,
hair
all right.
cells. Okay. The first damage because of noise or anything
Right.
external will be first the outer hair cells,
Uh-huh.
and then the inner hair cells.
Right,
So
okay.
we have a damage here. You have the outer hair cells damage here, but you have both damage.
Okay.
Sometimes we have a hearing test that shows a normal hearing, and we have damaged outer hair cells.
Right.
But in the hearing test, it shows normal hearing.
Right.
When we do this test, which is called autoacoustic emission,
Or
autoacoustic
autoacoustic emission?
emissions, what it shows is the damaging, if there is damage in the outer hair cells because of noise, because of any external noise, sound that
Right.
damages the hair cells.
Okay.
And you have the test that I made in the other clinic?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, I posted I don't have it with me. I didn't bring
Okay,
it.
I'll do some here.
Okay.
Anyway, but you have some damage, outer hair cells, in the high pitch area.
Right.
okay.
And 4,000 hertz and above?
Let me show you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, got it. Yeah, I got it. Okay.
Compared to the 5th of August
Okay, from 2014, I was at 95
and 90.
and 90, and
That's
now
it.
I'm at,
It's
what am I
called-
now?
It's called the UCL levels, the intolerance level, okay?
So what am I now?
Now you're 70.
And,
70,
and
it's getting lower. It's getting to the levels. that
distortion is so bad.
it hurts. It's bothering you. I mean, I cannot tell you a list of words at 70 decibels because it was hurting.
Yeah.
And before, I couldn't tell you the sentences, the words at 95 because it would hurt you. I went up to 95. I went up to 90 actually, and you were fine. Today I went up to 60 and you were fine, and then 70 was too much.
So what does that say? There's been
It says that
substantial damage?
The level,
Distortion?
the level. I cannot say distortion, but the level of intolerance
What?
is getting worse.
Pain
The
to loud sound.
Exactly.
Recruitment.
The recruitment. The level where pain starts. Okay.
Right.
It's getting to be shorter and shorter. So it means
So
it's
since
getting
2014.
softer. So it cannot go louder than 70 decibel because it's hurting. At 70 decibel, it's a level that you can go around the world, and there's a lot of things at 70 decibels, and you're not going to be able to. You're not standing. You're not able to even listen to those words at 70 decibels
Without pain.
So it's cutting down from 95 to 70
So
in a year.
In a year.
No, but not in a year. Not even in a year. This, since August, it was 90.
In August, a month ago?
It was
So-
the 5th of August, I went up to, in the right ear, I went up to 80 decibels and you were fine. I reached 90 and it hurt. Today I went up to 60 and it was fine, and at 70 it hurt.
So I've had substantial damage in the last 3.5 weeks.
In intolerance, it becomes very intolerant. Louder. The soft. How can I say?
Because of acoustic trauma and nerve damage, I have in the last 3.5 weeks suffered greater distortion, causing intolerance.
You're getting more intolerant to any softer sounds, not even louder.
But
sounds.
would being exposed to a high-pitched screeching sound do that over a prolonged period of time?
Anything that you're exposed to a loud sound is going to damage your ear.
Can you see based on your tests a month ago?
From a month ago and now, audiogram, audiometric results level-wise is the same. The audiometry is the same. The only difference is that you cannot stand anymore me going up in volume, saying the words.
Do you remember before we did the exam, I told you that in the last 3 weeks there's been more substantial damage?
Yes.
Before I showed you the torture videos? Well, those torture videos are older videos. But in the last 3.5 weeks, I've been brutally tortured with this technology in my sleep. They're using theta waves to keep me in a forced-induced sleep while they target my ears to do severe damage to my hearing. And I can't wake up from the agony of the attack. The few times that I have woken up, it felt like my eardrums were bursting.
From the sound.
Yeah, it felt. It was so bad I almost screamed. I was just walking with my head, I couldn't. Yeah, but I didn't help.
Right, because it was inside.
It's energy, right?
So I'm going to write this down for you and check if you have your results from the internet, the email.
Okay, but again, to make it simple, because he's not a doctor.
Right.
Okay, so in 3.5 weeks, you've noticed a substantial difference.
There is
August 5th until now, 4 weeks.
Of course, there is a substantial difference in intolerance level.
Right.
So it has gotten worse.
Right.
Say.
In 4 weeks.
In 4 weeks. The level that you could tolerate before, it was 90 decibel, up to 80 decibels.
Right.
And today you tolerate up to 60 decibels. Because louder than that, it hurts. Louder than 90, louder than 80 decibels a month ago, it hurt. Today, louder than 60 decibels, it hurts.
Yeah, I feel when I listen to loud music, I feel the pain.
Right, you shouldn't be hearing loud music, because it's gonna hurt you more.
Really?
Yeah, because anything.
So how can you?
Anything loud will make it.
So how can I go from in 4 weeks from 90 to 60? How can I do that? Well, that would have to. My complaints are consistent with my symptoms, are they not? I mean, basically what I showed you.
Basically, yes and no, in the sense that yes, intolerance-wise, what you report of intolerance, yes, is the difference. In the sense of audiometric results, is the same. So I cannot tell you.
So would directed energy do this? Could infrasound, ultrasound?
I don't know. I don't know if I can tell you that because I don't know. Of course, how loud noises will do it.
Ultrasound?
Ultrasound, loud noises, I guess it would.
Yeah.
I don't know about ultrasound too much, but definitely a loud sounds, and they're high frequency will damage your ear.
That's what I've been having, yeah. A high-pitched screeching sound.
The high pitch.
This is Brian 2 in Managua, Nicaragua, September 9, 2015, at approximately, what time is it? That's not right.
That's the wrong one.
Yeah, that's wrong.
It's 10 after 11.
10 after 11.
In the morning.
That what I've been reporting on for 5 years is precisely this, the consequences and the outcome of these compartmentalized and secretive programs that have wreaked havoc on this country and worldwide, actually. And that's something I wanted to ask you.
Yes.
How is it that MK Ultra has become a thing that is now having worldwide consequences, that people are reporting this around the world? The same thing, the same exact thing.
No, it's worldwide, and it was intended to be worldwide for the New World Order government.
Would you say we are in the New World Order currently?
Yes and no. It's just going to get worse. All military technologies will eventually seep into the policing forces of the, the United States, especially.
That's already happened, though.
Yeah, that's already happening. So yeah, we're in the middle of the transition. Here's another kind of theory. Why would you want democracy in every country? Well, it's because of mind control weapons. We can control who gets into power. So the CIA gets especially interested when someone wins, let's say like Donald Trump or Jesse Ventura, who I interviewed with, governor of Minnesota.
Oh, yes, the very famous interview.
He said as soon as he got in, 11 or 12 CIA guys interviewed him in the basement of the government mansion or whatever, and asked him, how did you get elected? You were not supposed to win. And so they were just curious why their voting models were wrong. But the point is to give the illusion of democracy and freedom that your vote counts, but not actually allow it to happen in terms of global events and
right. And they control it through the media. They maintain this farce that, we are living in a separate nation, we have a democracy, etc. But it appears that from everything you are saying, that the military and intelligence powers in this country, well, we know they have a connection with the intelligence powers in other countries as well around the world. And they appear to be running the entire show, the world show, not just the US show. So this suggests that these particular programs, these mind control programs, these neurotech targeting programs, neuro disruption programs, they are sort of creme de la creme. They're the ultimate secret that the DoD CIA wants to keep forever secret. And they really think they can get away with it. I mean, how have they gotten away with it so far, up till now?
Using many techniques by counterintelligence. We spend a lot of money on counterintelligence. And what does that mean? Literally dumbing down the population. So we create cover stories like alien abductions or
okay, that's sort of disinfo mind control, right? Through television
Yeah.
programming and stories in the community, etc., about aliens, UFOs, flying saucers, abductions, military, which are actually military abductions from what many people report, etc., things like that. But are they also using technology to dumb people down?
They're doing both. Yes, it is a way in which to, let's say you're competing economically with another country, or in the Olympics. They've been accused of using this. You can dumb down a population or confuse them. And I say counterintelligence does enough of that just on its own, or watching the general mass media news will dumb you down enough.
Right.
But they're doing the opposite experiments too. We only, in our investigation, we only hear about the people complaining about the tortures and the really brutal experiments that they're doing. And then they're doing experiments combining 4 or 5 up to 6 minds together, hive minds.
Hive minding.
Another term is brain nets. And they're doing experiments of how to firewall the human mind. There was a colonel which had a famous paper, I forget his name right now, but it was The Mind Has No Firewall. And it's so true. We didn't involve that. It's not part of our structural makeup of the human brain or any brains that I know of. And so they're trying to develop literally thought filters. So you can't have specific thoughts.
But in actuality, what people are reporting in the field, those who are targets, those who are reporting they are targeted individuals, they are reporting victims of neurotech. They are reporting that, they can hear hive minds. They can hear people having a sort of roundtable conversation in their heads, via V2K or synthetic telepathy, etc. And it's not a very pleasant notion. They don't want to hear people talking to them all the time.
No, it's totally stealing one's brain, stealing their soul. There's horror movies like called Body Snatcher, and that's in its best form. That's what this technology can do. It can run other software, overlay it on your hardware called the brain. And, this brings up so many issues. Well, how can you have justice if you don't know whose mind was behind the actions of the body? And so it's going to turn the justice system on its head. They can erase memories, reprogram them with false memories. And so you can't even use a polygraph test to see who they are. The CIA has been well known to split personalities and using hypnosis and other things. And one of their old mind control weapons was called REHIC, remote hypnotic intercerebral control. So let's say you're just connecting two minds. One is a trained mind of how to clone beliefs onto the target mind. You can make them angry. You can alter their voice. Let's say you're a politician and you want to make them sound like an idiot in front of the microphone. You can screw up their speech. You can alter the outcome of so many things. You can insert thoughts. But some of them you're talking about the overt targets that literally extra sensory perception. So we did a lot of that work in the 70s with the Russians. Well, it's true, but I always thought of it as mystical force or whatever. No, it's literally training the brain to understand external neural signals. So think of extrasensory perception as you're training these brains to accept the signals of something else that is biocorrelated with it to its brain. Right now it's being used with trickery. So there's it's called offensive information warfare, general terminology of that can be anything from hacking your computers and spoofing you to your friends, saying you sent the email, spoofing your voice, on a phone call. But it's such a wide variety. And this is the more secret of the technologies, and especially dream programming. That's the one that people are most susceptible to. They can manipulate subliminally your dreams, and your dreams affect the conscious when you're awake. And that's just dangerous. That's not free will. You're taking away someone's autonomy of thought and decision making. So I don't even like the term free will. I prefer degrees of autonomy is the term I would replace that with.
It sounds like what you were talking about is there are so many different technologies in use. There are so many different aspects of these mind control programs that are currently being used. As we know from listening to the reports of people out in the field, and as you know, perhaps from also doing your interviews and also perhaps from your work, and that's really what I'm interested in finding out more about. I mean, you kind of worked with these guys. You worked in the DoD, you worked in DARPA, you worked with the CIA. I understand you can't talk about everything you worked on, but
No, what you're asking about is what is their moral alignment?
so it seems like, the people who are working on these brain projects, they're interested in probing, going beyond the limits. There are no limits, no borders, no boundaries, no morals, no scruples. Head right ahead, see what you can do, see the extent to which you can control somebody else. And they're not just interested in controlling one other person, like in this Manchurian candidate program. They just want to control one person or two people or three or four. They want to control everybody, right?
I think so, but it's being it's still being rolled out. I would say it's all grayscale. It's not black and white. So it's a matter of control, how well the cognitive models are working, and that's why they have to grab more people, their models, and experiment on them to add them to the probability databases using a Markov processes, etc. And so I would say it's probably due to the bell curve, 80% rolled out. So yeah,
You said about 80% you think has been already rolled out?
Yeah, I would give it about 80%. So they're grabbing the unusual minds, the creative ones, the misfits, the hyper intelligent. Those minds they can't model easily into the, their basic model. And so they're studying those to add those probabilities.
And they're doing it through, they're using the FBI as well, right? And they're using
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
fakery of the terrorist watch list by putting all the smart people on the terrorist watch list and then subjecting them to these gory experiments, right?
Well, I'm always, I know a couple high-level FBI, former FBI that retired after 25 years of service or whatever. And they talk about how corrupt their agencies were, or if the highest level of sort of criminal justice has failed this country, there is no hope. Those at the very top are very conniving, and as long as they can get away with it, they will. How have they kept this secret for so long? They haven't. They've hidden it in plain view. It's almost in every movie now you see in Hollywood. And that's kind of their way of saying, no, it must be science fiction for the public, or they're trying to get them used to the concept.
There's a lot of lies and, cover-ups going on by media.
Yeah. And so, one of my professors at Harvard was B.F. Skinner, and he was a behavioral psychologist, world famous. These technologies that are being torturing people around the world, causing them to shoot up schools and airports and other things, they hide it in their news broadcasts. Oh, he's just crazy. They don't go any deeper.
So you think that's really what's kind of prompting the continued secrecy? Because they seem to have a sort of a granite lock here. They don't want to expose this at all. They've got psychiatry in place, to tamp down any kind of report from the community where people are actually exposing and whistleblowing about it. They bring in the, you are crazy, you are a schizophrenic story to stop it.
Well, I mean, you have to imagine, try to put yourself in their shoes. You're some important top brass general at the Pentagon. You know about this. You've ordered this. And if this leaks out, not only is your career over, you're probably going to go to a Nuremberg trial for treason. So in the shame of the country, such as America, we're supposed to be the world cop and moral leader. You can't say, yeah, we've been manipulating democracies for 60 years and we've been torturing and we made all this stuff up. You can't. So they don't want it to be leaked this way. The way they want it leaked is the way I've said on my website, I think 10 years ago. They want a parallel rediscovery of uncontrolled technologies, such as what Elon Musk is doing. So he takes the blame. That's
really interesting. They want to blame the commercial creators of it.
Yes, I'm with you. I hate secrecy, and knowing now how this cancer virus of technology has spread in secret to basically overthrow mankind, freedom, and democracy.
You were talking about how there are and I do know this as well, but you probably know this at a much deeper level, than the great number of technologies, for instance, used to create the sensation of voices in the skull or the sound of hearing voices. And there's also, you said, many different ways to affect the nervous system. So neurotech has exploded. Did you want to kind of address that a little bit, perhaps?
Oh, that is such a huge topic. I mean, that's the books upon books.
Yeah.
So I can only talk about what the public knows mostly, and the 4 different ways to pipe voices in the people's ears directionally. You either have microwave radio frequency energy. And Dr. Wynn from the University of Chicago, demonstrates this, that the brain will vibrate the inner ear with microwave pulses and you send voices that way. I think it was Medusa is the weaponized army version of that system. There's some other technologies, the audio spotlight that works on sound pressure waves, a phase array. You can point at somebody. LRAD, for example, is a long-range acoustic device. Again, you don't understand how the sound is being projected, but the one that's so complicated and the super secret one, which I'll talk about a little bit because it's because I've already done an MIT interview that I've mentioned it on and kind of shown how it's going to work. Two brains can create their own language between them, but they have to be trained. They have to be synchronized. So you can use something like the microwave hearing effect on both brains simultaneously, correlate the brainwave patterns, and you have a bidirectional feedback. And eventually they will learn the same vocabulary. And now let's say I'm the man in the middle, trying to decipher the spy, you're a spy, let's pretend you're a spy. And I'm picking up these radio frequency energies on you. I will not be able to decipher what they mean to your brain. So it's a perfect spy tool. You don't need any electronics, implants, nothing, but it takes a lot of time to develop it. It usually three months to a year. Some people it doesn't work on, but I call it an encrypted encrypted speech. I have simulations with primitive neural networks that I show how it works and how it operates. But that's the super secret one, because that leads to synthetic telepathy. All the emotions can be controlled of the brain, touch, taste, sound. We can induce, record these brain signatures and then realign them for that central experience later. Now, the positive things, imagine sharing a dream with your partner and lover, and that'd be a good use.
Yeah,
But,
I think we may have seen that in Solaris, or
yeah,
something like
or
that.
some others, but right now it's a good torture tool. So we record the tortures, pains, and etc., and replay them on other people, and their brain can't tell the difference. It's suffering, but we have no, how lawyers just make up their own language and definition. Well, it's enhanced interrogation. It's not torture. The brain, it still is experiencing the trauma and pain. So those, the snakes who get involved with their spell casting to change the English language and the common definition really bother me sometimes.
Oh, yeah, because that's the same kind of thinking that's transferred over here. And it kind of sounds like, from what you are saying, Robert, that you're saying that they're taking two brains, and there's no informed consent, obviously, over here.
Right.
This is complete, railroading of consent, completely ignoring, because these are people in the field are reporting that this has happened to them. There is no consent. So they're taking somebody's brain, they're taking somebody's brain waves, they are stealing, harvesting their brain waves, they are examining, categorizing them, and then they're kind of merging. This is heterodyning that you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Heterodyning and cloning. And they're heterodyning with somebody else's brainwaves and then kind of cloning that person's brainwaves onto yours, so that you are becoming another person. Your brain is being seen in this equation as a machine.
Correct. Oh, absolutely correct. And, it really is. I was going to name my book rather than Project Soul Catchers, Project Soul Stealing. but you know, I thought
That is what it is. It's stealing.
it literally is. And you were asking, why do they have to keep it so secret? Well, you can see 95% of the world is religious. You're taking away the belief of free will now, which the religion relies upon, and justice relies upon free will. So society will become anarchy if they know we've been doing this for so long. So they have to keep it secret.
However, at the very same time, you know, we are seeing now they are keeping the darkest spots secret, no doubt about it, because, you know, this is why TIs are being named mentally ill and so forth. And that's the mental illness program, which is very, very wrong. And, you know, something that I'm hoping that all of these conversations can change ultimately.
Well,
But
could I interrupt you just for a
okay.
moment? And because that's an important point. Is the Russians use their psychology community, shrink community, whatever, to put away dissidents. If you don't agree with the government, Chinese do it. Americans do it. Now it's in our DSM-5 if you disagree too often. So they've
You
made
have oppositional defiant disorder, right?
Yes, you know the term. Yes, correct.
Unbelievable.
Isn't it? Isn't it?
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
And so, but if you go back in history of, let's say, Dr. Ewan Cameron, who was president of the, you know, psychiatric worldwide, you know, community, was brainwashing, literally washing, not just programming, washing.
Psychic driving, yeah.
Psychic driving. And they're still using that technique wirelessly on TIs, except now they're chatterbots rather than 2-track tapes to break them down.
I want to get back to that at some point, but, you know, never mind. I don't want to interrupt you.
Women with mild depression went in, you know, and the CIA likes to take it out of country so they don't dirty their hands. I think it was the University of Montreal, Toronto, I think it was Montreal. And yeah, about 100 women he destroyed their lives, their brains, everything with CIA funding. So if this weapon has existed since then, which it has, all we have to do is pay off the top shrinks to add it to the DSM manual as a symptom of a new neurosis that may have come about, but it's a weapons system.
And they've done it, it sounds like.
And they've done it, and the shrinks aren't scientists. Remember, they just do correlation. Does a drug help? Does it, you know, et cetera. They don't know.
They like physics. The drug police.
Yeah, that's what they are. They're the drug police. As long as the drugs are text, they're good to go. You know.
I know, anyway, they work side by side with all the totalitarians. They sort of establish fascism. So, I mean, it's frightening what the power that's been given to psychiatrists. This issue of psychic driving, you know, and driving people mad, and that TIs are reporting it. You mentioned that TIs are reporting it. But, you know, part of the larger question here is that there are many forms of mind control that are actually being leveled at everybody. Not just TIs, right?
Yeah. You know, and it's weird. Ever since 9/11, our senators have passed, because they're really controlled by the Pentagon and you know, paid for by all the contracting companies, you know, bribed and et cetera. They passed laws that it's finally legal to use propaganda, although it's always been done, on the U.S. citizens. And they're using counterintelligence. They're going into, you know, Facebook, our support groups, everything, like, you know.
Yes.
And they're actually paid government agents to disrupt the conversation.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm familiar with that.
Our tax dollars are paying these idiots to harm the truth from coming out to save us. It's really brilliantly evil. It's just brilliantly evil. So you know, I've always liked the villains and bad guys, often in the James Bond movies, for their brilliance.
Well, appear in a
my own
movie.
government is brilliantly evil. I got to admire them for that.
Well, real life evil is a little bit different than fiction
Yeah,
evil,
I
as you
suppose.
know, Robert, and
And
it
this
is
this
horrifying.
has gone on for so long and unnoticed.
And
It
that's part of the
really,
reason why this hasn't come out. Although
yeah.
I think the main reason it hasn't come out is because media's got the hold on that, it's got the
Mhm.
lid on that. I would like to think that we are busting through that lid and, making our voices heard and our
I
presence
think
felt.
I think every bit counts. I never thought I would see a solution in my lifetime, but now, if I live another 10 years, I think we might see something real eventually happen. Where the Pentagon said you can uh, do awful things to about 3 to 6% of any population, falsely imprison them, etc., in any country. But if the knowledge of that gets over 6%, then a successful revolution can occur. And so I think we're penetrating that 6% of people know about this level, and that it may be a runaway process that everyone will eventually know, and justice can be served eventually.
So the American people are being propagandized, kind of legally,
Yeah.
quote
Well,
unquote.
everything the Nazis did, killing off the Jews and et cetera, was all legal. So I don't really follow human law that much. It seems quite arbitrary, depending on country, time frame, civilization, etc. So you got to follow your own moral compass. And I know this is horrible, and people need to know the truth.
Please help me, my heart. They're targeting my heart.
Okay, what's your address?
Old Town Church.
Old Town Church, what's your name?
Ryan, my heart is vibrating. They're targeting my heart. It's a train. My heart is a train. My heart is a train. They've been training my heart into a regular beating pattern.
One moment.
Torture directed.
Number 33, what is the address of your emergency? It's the transfer from Old Town Church.